Hi guys, FrostFangs here, back with the Paladins video. We're playing some Moji today, but not as a support, which is obviously how she was reworked. I've covered her already relatively recently like that, and nothing's really any different. She's pretty damn good as a healer at the moment, although does definitely need to be tweaked a tiny bit. Today we're going to be playing her as a damage, kind of, as she was before, with Jubilation. The build is of course different from the standard sort of one with Moji, which I would really recommend. I see people run very strange things with Moji, but these two variants of it are really strong and probably the best, at least in my opinion. For the damage side though, you don't really need to run as much Sparkle. I haven't played it a crazy amount, so I don't know if I'm going to change this after the games today. I'll let you know of course, but Morning Breath, you definitely want to run, and Fluffy and play it kind of like a fat damage or flanker. But even though I have tried to change it, it is pretty similar simply because she doesn't have that many cards that are focused around the damage side of it. She's very much now tuned to a healer, which I talked about a ton in the other video, so I'm not going to repeat myself too much here, but there really isn't too much you can do to buff out damage Moji specifically. I'm still confused as to why you have a meter on the right click if you go for the damage thing. Maybe it's just like a thing they can't change in the back end, I'm not sure, but yeah, Moji having a meter for her right click in the damage setup doesn't really make sense for me. Alright, so for game 1 we've got a Payload Hidden Temple, Genos 7 Victor Dredge versus another Victor Andro, Talus, Fernando and Ceres. I talked about this a bit in the IO video, but if you were to put her sort of on a scale for healing and damage, Moji would be pretty damn far into the green if you go for like a normal sort of setup with her. She really doesn't do that much damage compared to a lot of the other supports. If you go for Jubilation, she goes pretty much fully into the red side of that scale because you can't heal at all. Now that we're going for Jubilation, I can't actually heal my friendlies, which is a bit of a shame because I'd like to see it as a bit of a hybrid thing, but they tried to make her kind of like old Moji, but not fully like old Moji because you still have the meter and stuff, but you just can't heal. Well, can we heal with the right click? I don't think we can, right? It looks like the effect is doing it, but no. We've got Binary Star, Scuttle, Tribunal, Burst Mode, dead there to the Talus. Yeah, can't really do too much at a range. You have to be pretty damn close. The start of this map, specifically for Moji, is pretty much impossible regardless of how you try and run her. Unless you're supporting, you're just, healing your tank or whatever, but Aegis, Agony, Inner Strength, Cardio, and Darkstalker, so all very normal stuff. Don't really know how else to yap about this one other than just saying value-wise, it's such a hard recommendation unless you've got a team that specifically needs damage and doesn't need any more healing whatsoever. Like if you've got 3 supports, then maybe you would run it. But I think even then, you're probably better off having your other supports try and do a hybrid damage thing like a Jumps with Binary Star, who's actually DC'd here, and then as Moji still going for like a healer setup, just because you really don't hit particularly hard, and compared to what you're losing all of your healing capabilities. You can't heal on your left click or your right click. It's such a weird trade-off. I've seen it a couple times, and I can see it working in maybe like a TDM or something. I don't know why the Dredge is molding. It's literally just Victor and me. The other 2 guys just left. This game was a mess. I did actually talk about it quite a bit when Moji did get reworked and when I made the first video on her, and even before then I think a little bit when I was talking about some of the patch notes stuff, that it just seems like a really weird implementation of the idea that they were trying to go for, especially because at range, compared to these guys, I'm hitting for what, 300? Is that even really worth me firing at them when they're hitting me for like 1k? 400 at this sort of range, there we go. It's not terrible, but up close even when you're stacking on people, your damage isn't that crazy. You might want to maybe just hold both of them down. What does this sort of damage look like if I just go for both? Like that feels like that might even be better than trying to charge specifically, just so you have a little bit more burst, which is so weird. You could kind of do that before on Moji, but you wouldn't really want to most of the time. I'm just going to run around here, try and get rid of the Victor. Like this feels like I'm actually outputting more than trying to stack, which is odd, because the left click does 450, you kind of want to just be doing this. Yeah, that's actually, I think, better, which it really shouldn't be when you think about the thing the talent is trying to get you to do. Don't really know how else to explain it. Yeah, it just feels like it's more sensible to do that than to try and stack on people, and that's odd. And again, you're trading off all of your healing for this. You can't heal on your left click or your right click, and you're not, getting the benefit from the other talent, obviously, because you're grabbing this. So you're losing a lot of stuff by choosing to do this sort of thing. You don't have Boom Boom built in, you don't have any of the other damage talents that you used to have, of course, built in. Do have other sort of trade-offs though. You can actually use the right click or left click combo now without being slowed down, which is really nice because that card didn't exist before. Your F is infinite, your Q isn't an immunity and is instead a shield, which I would say if you're going for damage Moji is definitely worse than just having the immunity because of the way it used to work with the reset and everything. I don't hate Moji, I don't hate damage Moji. I think healer Moji is actually really quite good and really quite fun, but trying to play it as a hybrid isn't really an option aside from going for the full healer thing and then just left clicking. And trying to play full damage just seems like a really bad deal compared to what you could have instead. Like, you can definitely make these fights work. If I landed that shot there, I'd have won that duel, but there we go, there's E defeat. It just feels like a very bad value trade-off compared to a lot of the other supports. We did sort of fine there. Definitely isn't, garbage tier, but I'd put it somewhere quite a bit below average for what most other options are. Corvus's is a little bit weird as well, but Furious damage is pretty damn solid if you go for that direction. Grok, really quite good if you go for the full sort of damage thing, kind of the gold standard, I would say. Grover also can really work like that and still heal for quite a bit. IO is one of the weirder ones that can't really even do full damage, which I talked about in that video. Genos with Binary Star, really solid hybrid. I would say Lilith is also a little bit more weird in that aspect because some people can definitely make it work, but I'd say typically she's definitely more healer focused. Damber, 100%. Stun Damber is also one that's kind of the defining thing. Pip damage, also another really good example. I would say Ray is another pretty good example of somebody on that scale of like green for healing and red for damage that is pretty much always going to be at least in the middle, just because even if you go for focus, you're still going to be healing for quite a bit, and you can do pretty good damage, but it's more sort of CC shift than like a full sort of damage character like a Pip or a Grok. Ceres, of course, definitely can do damage and still heal for quite a bit. Same with Ying. So when you compare Moji individually, like I just did, because I actually thought it made sense here for the video, she's really one of the only characters that I can think of that when you go for the damage thing, loses pretty much all of their healing capability, and also isn't that particularly strong as a damage. There's a few other examples that are kind of close, like, you know, some characters do a lot of their healing, but Moji loses pretty much all of it and can't even do that much damage in return. Alright, so for game 2, Onslaught Primal Court would usually be the perfect scenario for it, but because I don't want to screw the team over, we're actually going to go for the full healer thing here, just to show you the opposite side of it. I've already shown you how weird the damage thing is, and I've kind of explained it, so instead of putting you through more of whatever the hell that first game was, we're going to actually do a setup that I think works really well, and do healer Moji, and yeah, actually do well, hopefully. It will depend on the team, I think, much more than what I do here, but we'll get armor plating, and then nimble. Yeah, Koga, Fernando, Aegis, Cardio, Tribunal, he hasn't grabbed anything just yet, Unyielding, Burn Monster, Yomi, Mother's Grace, and Ambidextrous. In we go. Stack up a little bit early, and hopefully show Moji off well. It's kind of funny to think that you have Boom Boom built in as like a healer thing, but not as a damage thing. As you can sort of see here, heal-wise, we're actually putting in work. I'm trying to keep this Victor up. There's a Q. Somehow he's actually not dead just yet. I nearly am. We're going to F and jump back down this way. I'm just going to run all the way through. We're just about to say I don't want to be mean to the team, but the damage is kind of low, and I look at the score, and we are literally 0 to 60. We have not made a single point yet. Definitely something weird goes on as well with the right click when you're like a low meter. Just like half fires, but doesn't actually fully go out. Try and keep the Koga up. There we go. Definitely feel like I'm actually doing something in this one at least. I'm, you know, healing the team, and pretty damn effectively so, to be honest. You do get those numbers pretty damn quickly. Moji is no slouch when it comes to being a support in close range sort of environments like this, but as a damage, I don't know what I'd be doing here. Victor going for the ultimate, there's some big heals. He is still dead, I think. Never mind, the healing just numbers here are absolutely ridiculous, especially when you're getting those stacks going. It's kind of crazy. There is some still weird stuff with the servers going on for sure. The left click isn't actually going out at like the right time, and it's kind of like laggy and weird, but let's just drop down in the front, try to keep 7 up. He's just running into death though a lot of the time in this one. Yeah, go Fernando, I believe in you. That speed buff is ridiculous. He's moving so quick. There's a Q. We give 20% in the right click and 20% with the left click, so when you're stacking both of them, it does go kind of crazy. I feel like I'm actually doing a good job here of showing off heal Moji, even though we're getting shredded. We have recovered it a little bit. Compared to, you know, damage Moji in that last one, and what I'd be doing here if I was on damage, yeah, definitely very different tiers of stuff. There's a Q, which isn't usually the case. I feel like if you go for a damage or a support, there's definitely some weird stuff as well. When people are close to whoever you're healing, I've noticed that, and when I was actually putting the other video together, there's some weird stuff with that, but yeah, they're very, very different tiers. I think most healers are kind of the same sort of tier on the tier list, damage and heal-wise. It isn't too massively different for casual stuff at least, but for Mojis, it is completely different. Commentary there got kind of mixed up as I was trying to do two things at once, but yeah, sort of as you saw there when Zim was ulting the Fernando, you can often get it to hit multiple times for the same projectile if it's a nearer friendly for some reason. I don't know what causes that, but I noticed it when I was putting the video together originally for Moji. Some weird stuff where you end up with like bonus free damage. Yeah, not a bad thing, it helps you out, but it's probably something they need to fix at some point. Big heals here, just area heals, trying to stack on people. Don't know what the 4 is doing, just looking, I guess. Drop back into spawn, finish off some items, and run back in, just with the effort the entire time. Try and keep Fernando up, never mind. 4, just going to remove him. Gotta say, the commentary in this one has been absolutely cooked, but that's really the best place for you to be as a Moji. It's kind of behind here, throwing out the right click, left click combo, because the left click goes through your friendlies and hits enemies as well. It's how you end up with a lot of decent damage, even though you're not trying to. Zin's just trying to chase me down here. I guess I'm just going to run around, do a bit of a lap, and try and heal the Fernando. If I can learn the left click, that would be great. Koga went for the ultimate, drop down, give some big heals. I feel like I'm doing a decent job of showing off Moji here. It's just kind of cooked. Going to go for the ultimate. That actually landed on the Anar, even though I think she was on 2 health. Run round, heal here, try to heal the 7. 7 is always the one that seems to escape me being able to heal him. I feel like I always get to the 7 when he's on 2 HP. I don't know why Fernando's standing in the tire fire, but yeah, big heals. It really shouldn't matter too much, because when we've got meter, we can really just spam it away and gen it like crazy. Speed buff also, Victor's just a zoom in. You give so much to your team as healer Moji, and as damage Moji, when you think about it, what do you actually do other than just damage? You don't have anything else you can actually do. It's kind of weird. I don't know what the team's doing in this one. Again, 7 is just seemingly dancing around. There's a Q. Team died on the left of me there, but I was too focused on getting these guys up. That's an R ultimate. Fernando went for his. There's a big heal. There's one for the Victor too. He's going for the ultimate. Try and give him a speed buff here if I can. There's a Q. I think that's like the 3rd time I've seen him ult when he's not really got vision on anybody. It's kind of funky. That's a tire. I'm going to run. Okay, the entire team's here. Can I get enough movement to be fine? I guess. Aurora's on me. Yeah, Ray ulted her. She's still up. Very, very scuffed. Get more arcane. We'll just max out. This video is an absolute mess. I feel like I have significantly more crits than normal in this one. I don't know if I usually finish off Arcane, Haven, and Nimble, but yeah, sure, 7. There we go. Kept him up just about. There's a Q as well. I was a little bit scared of the Zin there, but we're sort of fine. Heals on the 7 here. Give us some self-heal too. There we go. That kind of gave me a double hit, I think. I'm going to go for the ultimate on the Zin. There we go. Can I get him, please? Oh my god. There we go. Eventually. Absolutely hate Moji ults sometimes. It just feels so awkward that they have more movement than you sometimes when they're a literal cookie. He's going kind of in. There goes the Vora. Sure, range on your right click actually isn't too bad. It feels shorter when you're going for damage for some reason, even though I don't think it is. I feel like I kind of baited you at the start of this one with like a damage Moji video, and I kind of like shifted it halfway through, even though I think that makes for a better video, so I'm not gonna, you know, say that was a bad idea. Just really weird for me to think about that. The start of this one's probably like 2 minutes of damage Moji, and then just full support me doing this, which is good because I haven't made a Moji video on the support thing aside from the one when she actually got changed. So I was kind of due for this too. Absolutely massive heals, and the team is somehow still dying. I really wish the Victor wouldn't just try and run away from me when I'm trying to heal him. It's kind of insane. There we go, big heals. The Zin's just here. Don't know what we're doing. There's a heal. There's another one. There's Tyra just here trying to throw through so we get the 450s. I'm pretty sure we lost it, but we actually managed to make it kind of close. I'm trying to get the big full stacked heals. That's a hit from Vora. I might be dead. That lockout time was crazy. There's a Q. That's a Zin ult. Fernando's fine. He's definitely been putting in work with the shield. There's big heals. Koga ult, sure. Definitely managed to sort of keep everybody up in this one. The numbers have been kind of crazy. Victor ulting. Pretty sure we just cleared the entire team and Victor popped the ultimate and ran in. I don't know. We might be able to win it though. It's kind of close. Big heals. That's my job. We might actually be able to win it. It's kind of close. I've got the ultimate here. I'm just trying to pay attention to as much of the team as I can, but Zin kind of on me. I was just kind of living off the self-heal. I'm going to have to F and try and retreat, but they've got vision. I'm revealed. Don't know what I'm doing. We got a bit of self-heal there. I'm trying to keep this Fernando up. Dead to the Zin. I thought the shield was kind of blocking me there, but there we go. There's the defeat. We nearly recovered it at the end. I think it was 350 to 400 right at the end there. We really did step up on the healing side of things. We were doing a mad numbers. 36k damage is also fine, but 34k shielding, happy with that, and 166k. So that's essentially 200k total. Seven had a bit of a hard time in that one. I was kind of noticing that in the game. His damage was pretty down below. Victor and Fernando did quite well though. His shielding was a massive. We were able to get so much healing because he was doing quite well defensively. And the Koga actually did alright too, but was playing a little bit weird. The deaths there are kind of huge. We only had 5, even though we lost it. The team was kind of playing together towards the middle mark, and we're actually getting some really, really big group heals and stuff. There's in, definitely star of the show. The rest of them all did fine though. Much more even, I would say. There we go. Moji. Video went in a bit of a different direction. I was expecting it to, but I think it all worked out for the better in the end. I'll see you guys all really, really soon. Leave a like if you've enjoyed. Thank you so much for watching. Let me know also where you want to see me do next. And as always, stay frosty.